Yo, what's up? This is your man Thatch the Great checking in once again. Let's get straight to it. Today, I wanted to discuss a topic that has been extremely relevant in society for decades now, and I don't expect that this particular subject matter, this particular topic, I doubt this will ever go away. And that's kind of sad, but that's just where society most likely will always be. Race will always be a thing. The color of our skin is always going to be a thing. It's always going to be a topic of subject, and also be a topic of conversation in this country. That's just the sad truth, and that's the harsh reality of it. And when this particular video that I'm going to take a look at in a second came across my feed on YouTube the other day, I knew that I wanted to circle back and discuss it at length because it really does pretty much put yet again this very topic out there into the video sphere, into the blog sphere, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call YouTube. That's where it puts it out. And once that video is out there, obviously it becomes consumption for all of us in the public. So I'm going to take a look at this video and I'm going to just dissect it in real time, because one thing that I've noticed, especially when it comes to media outlets that are very woman-centric and supposedly allow women to just be liberated and speak their truth, what often happens is it puts them in a position where they are also hanging themselves because they don't realize the delusion in what they're stating. So I'm going to take a quick look at this video that was on Revolt, if I recall. And basically it's women apparently discussing why Black men somehow, in their opinion, always end up with white women, or they resort to interracial dating. And what I noticed, as I only watched maybe the first half or so of the video, what I noticed is that women are completely delusional, and they're so diluted to the point that they don't even realize just how much error there is in some of the bullshit that they say in regards to the dating scene and in regards to the dynamic between men and women, or specifically in this regard, Black men and Black women. So let's take a look at the video, and I'm just going to dissect, and I'm going to offer my thoughts in real time. Let's go to the video, which is from Revolt. Once again, I'm going to pull it over right now. Take a look. And I'm just going to periodically stop it just so, I can give my thoughts and my perspective. But it's just extremely interesting. And also it's just downright sad, the mentality that so many Black women have in regards to this matter. So let's go. Let's do it.
Well, y'all, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited to sit here with you two specifically to have this conversation, because this conversation can go in so many ways. So before we get started, just like give me a lay of the land. I guess maybe not what's your introduction, but what's your experience with the conversation about Black athletes ending up with white women, or Black men who prefer white women at large?
I would honestly say mine is frustration.
Okay.
Because I think the conversation needs to go in a different direction.
Okay.
I think we're lacking the communicative skills to be able to even have a conversation that's edifying, that gets us to the other side of being frustrated. It is something that's a real thing, and I can acknowledge that. But even as a Black woman, a former athlete that went to a PWI, a single Black woman, I have my feelings. Like I love Black men. I prefer them as well. So it's almost like sometimes I feel like, man, they got another one of them. But at the same time, it's like, love is love. And there's so much, this is a convoluted issue. So for me, I'm just excited to dive in it with you guys. And hopefully people that.
I find this interesting, just to briefly stop it. I find it interesting that she is already given a disclaimer, offering this extensive word salad out of her mouth to try to make it seem like she's well adjusted and that she's looking at this from a holistic intellectual standpoint, saying that, obviously, me as a single Black woman, I went to a PWI, which is, in case you don't know, is a private white institution. She said she went there, and then she said she's single and she prefers Black men, but at the same time, when she sees a Black man with a white woman or so have you, she feels jilted by it, and she's like, damn, they got another one of our guys, another one of our men. So basically, she's speaking out of both sides of her mouth, but she offered that first disclaimer up front to try to make it seem like she is looking at it objectively, which we're already able to see as a tad bit misleading and deceptive. But let's continue. Let's move on.
I watch will understand, like, it's not just as black and white, no pun intended, as it may come across.
And before we get to talking more about preference and I guess what we find appealing or attractive, I want to speak a little bit to what you said about these people don't really understand me and I don't understand them. I think for me specifically, when I think about my choice and who I want to end up with, I want to be with somebody I don't got to explain nothing.
When I
I
tell
need my
you,
plight
and
understood
unfortunately,
for sure.
no offense, Deontay, I'm gonna have to explain certain things to a man.
That's
Because it's something
absolutely
you're not
right.
gonna
That's
get, boo.
absolutely
right. Yeah,
But
yeah.
a white one, for me, absolutely not.
Yeah, because it's two factors now. It's like,
Mhm.
also too, it's like, I remember I was talking to this white girl one time because she had like red hair. I thought that was like, I was like, whoa, like, you feel me? Like, this is crazy, you feel me? But it's like, I had brought her to my neighborhood and like, the way we was talking and communicating, she was like, what does this mean? What does it mean? I was like, this is getting annoying. Like, I'm not trying to translate. Just kick, like, shut up. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause
Well, but this is already. Well, first of all, I don't know. This dude looks. I don't want to make it personal, so I'm not even going to dive into how this particular gentleman looks. But I find it very interesting that he's stating that, you know, he previously dated this white girl that had red hair or whatever, and he said that he brought her into his hood or wherever he lives at, and he was surprised or perplexed that apparently some of the vernacular, some of the dialects, some of the words being used, maybe she does not have an understanding of that. But here's my thing, right? You're telling me that you didn't already have a full understanding of the fact that she may not know some of the same euphemisms, some of the same ebonics, whatever, so have you, that y'all use. You didn't pick that up prior to bringing her into your element. That's on you. As a man, that's on you. If you haven't done enough vetting up front in your communication with the woman and your process of actually getting to know her better, if you as a man have not already done that legwork yourself, then why would you be surprised if a woman doesn't really understand what's going on around her when you bring her into your environment, into the fold in your element? So that's more so just pre-work that a man needs to do regardless of what color a woman is. And that's not even a black and white thing in that regards, in my opinion. That's just a matter of a woman maybe not being raised around the same kind of environment that you were raised around. That, and just for looking at this dude, a bit of a sloppy man bun type dread situation. I don't know. I don't know what to even make this guy. Got a Stone Cold shirt on. I don't even know what to make of this guy. Not detracting from him, not seeing negatively anything about him as a person or his character. It's just, I don't know. I can't really blame that the woman's color on her being perplexed with what's going on around her in that scenario that he drew there. But let's keep going.
I'm thinking, but this how you think, because it's like you watch this and it's like yo, Shawty got red hair, like you see what I'm doing out here, like.
Okay.
But the translation part, it was just like, oh, I really don't get these people. And then when I went to her house, it was like, how are you? It's like, what, you weren't expecting me? But nah, they wasn't expecting me. So it's like, oh yeah, these dynamics.
All right, let's back it up. Hold on, let's back it up. Let's take a look at this nigga, right? Let's take a look at this dude, right? Because what often I found is that when people get a response, an illicit response, they always directly and immediately try to pertain that response to color, to skin, to creed. When in actuality, it might not have anything to do with your skin color as far as how someone gave you a certain response or the way that they gave such a visceral reaction to you. Perhaps it's just the fact that you look like this, bro. Perhaps it's the fact that you got this stupid ass bun shit on top of your head, and perhaps it's the fact. Let me cook this nigga. Look at you, bro. What is this shit in your hair? Don't they call those gauges? Look at this shit. Look how your ear looks, bro. You're a sloppy dude. You got double chin. You got this stupid ass hair bun thing in your head. Like, you don't really appear to be. You don't carry yourself like a man of value, a man of class or integrity. The way that you look, the way you present yourself, the way you present yourself to the world, that in itself, that is your brand. Anytime I go out the house, I'm making sure that the brand that I give off is one of high class, dignity, intelligence, intellectuality, you know? And I just think that in this situation, if this guy here were to come to dinner, and I'm just thinking, like, if I was a father looking at, you know, somebody that his daughter brings home, would I want my daughter to bring home a guy who is displaying himself to the world like this? I would say no. And what would that pertain to? His skin color? No. Just the overall package, the way he's displaying himself, the way he's comfortable with displaying himself to the world. That in itself is the problem. It's not always about black and white. It's not always a color thing. It's not always a skin color thing, you know? And I think people always take that weak approach by making everything about color when they don't get a response that they're looking for. That's just my thoughts. Let's keep going.
How are you? It's like, what you wasn't expecting me, but nah, they wasn't expecting me. So it's like, oh yeah, something. These dynamics is
and
off.
now your safety.
Yeah, I feel like too uncomfortable to the point where it's like, yeah, go up and go in the room, and it's like, go in the room.
No, I ain't going in the room.
Go in the room is.
Yeah, I was like, man, you know, my dad, he really gonna trip. I'm gonna get up out of here because I don't feel comfortable out here.
Okay.
So it's like, but you remember stuff like that, even and as a boy, it's like when they daddy be looking at you weird, it's like, let me get up out of here. If I had to call my dad, you feel me?
We don't want your dad to show up.
Oh God.
Okay, and what about you, Sheree?
This is a tough one, guys, because Lene, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
As a Black woman, I don't believe wholeheartedly that any man other than a Black man can truly connect with me in the way that you described.
Right.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, I have to also own the fact that there are frustrations that I have with a sect of Black men in this generation when it comes to partnering, when it comes to potentially being a husband or even a viable boyfriend that has now put me in a position where, even though I really don't want to be open to dating men outside my race, I don't want to do it. Let me be very clear.
There.
It's not what I want.
It makes sense.
But it's something that at almost 39 years old, still desiring a family in that life, I may have to be open to.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so basically, once again, this woman is very long-winded. Basically, what you're saying is that even though she didn't initially think that she would want to do interracial dating or date men outside of her race, now that she's gotten to the point, she's getting up there in age, biological clock's ticking, she's about to push 40. She's 39 right now. So now she's open to the idea, or at least she's opening her mind to the idea of possibly dating interracially, which honestly is fair in her situation. However, the question is, what specifically is it that prevented her from doing so up to this point? And from what I gathered from her earlier statements is the fact that she's already hard-rooted into that mentality that it has to be a Black man. And I get it to an extent. I get what they were saying earlier about not wanting to have to explain certain cultural pieces of your personality or your identity as a human being. I get that. Nobody wants to have to do all of that legwork as far as explaining to someone why certain things are the way that they are, why you feel the way that you feel, why you operate the way that you do. Nobody wants to have to put that much time in and tell this person all of these things that, like she stated, these things would be innate. They would be clearly understood without even having to be understood if the person that you're dating is Black, because a lot of us do get raised into the same cultural initiation, I guess you could say, as far as us in the Black community. We understand certain things. A Black person can always relate to another Black person who was raised in a similar manner, or perhaps getting the same information, you know, those same important speeches and talks that you had with your parents along the way as a young Black youth. So I understand to an extent why someone would say, I feel more comfortable dating someone who is also Black. I get that. But the thing that I don't understand is why, even though while that may be your initial preference, what I don't understand, this is just me personally, I just don't understand why you would pigeonhole yourself into one lane. And that's the part that separates me from a lot of people within the Black community, is the fact that I am a very open-minded, free thinker. I just don't see any value in pigeonholing myself into one particular ethnicity of woman. I just don't see it. I just don't see the value in that. Now, I get it. Of course, like I stated, of course, when it comes to Black women and certain, you know, nonverbal cues and certain things that we learn just culturally within the Black community, things that we go through, things that we can relate to one another. Absolutely. A Black woman would probably initially be someone that I could much easier just seamlessly relate to and have a certain level of compatibility in certain aspects. But at the same time, in the same token, there are also many personality specific and just as much minutia, I guess you would say, that you have to work through with Black women, that a lot of Black women also tend to generalize amongst themselves as well. Certain aspects, certain features, certain personality traits that are advocated in the Black community that so many Black women display that Black men do not like when it comes to personality traits and characteristics. So while you have to take the good with the good, you also have to be able to diagnose the bad with the bad as far as why Black men sometimes find themselves not wanting to stick around and deal with Black women. You have to be able to understand both sides of the token. And I think Black women never really self-diagnose, or they never really take a mirror approach by looking at themselves in totality, holistically, as far as what personality traits is it that are pushing the Black men, especially the good Black men that the women covet. What is it that are pushing these high earners and these men that so many women covet? Why are we pushing them to these other races of women, these other ethnicity groups? That's what Black women refuse to question themselves about, and they refuse to give themselves accurate answers to, in my opinion. But let's keep this video going.
I haven't had any experiences necessarily with being in the proximity that you mentioned with white males when it comes to dating. Now, I will say, growing up, my cousin used to always, tease me that I would end up with a white man, and it would make me so mad. It would really upset me. Wow. Like, why would you say that? Like, am I not good enough to be with a Black man? But that, outside of that comment, no.
Okay, so there's this overnight trading phenomenon, and it actually,
all right, while this is going on to the next part of the video,
led to $823 in automatic
I make sure
profits.
I get this right, Ashley. You said, hold on, let me pause that for 1 second. All right, you said Black hood men and white country men have more in common than Black women think. You're gonna have to expound upon that so that I can understand exactly what you're saying, because I don't really see a parallel between those two things as if they inherently have anything to do with one another. Black hood dudes and white country men have a lot more in common than Black women think. I'm not even going to dive into that because I don't want to make an assumption about what you are inferring. So you're going to have to let me know what you think or what you're saying about that. Okay. Let's continue the video though.
We don't have an issue with what you like.
Yes, you do.
We don't. I don't.
One of our issues.
This is such a lie. I don't want to stop the video so fast, but that's a lie. Anybody out there who's keeping it a stack will tell you that's a lie. Fellas, for all the fellas out there who have ever been like on a date with a woman, well, first of all, here's the thing. It's a pre-qualifier. You have to be a good-looking man for this to even apply, right? You got to be a good-looking guy with your shit together. But let's assume you're a good-looking Black guy with your shit together, and you take a girl out on a date, right? Let's say she's doesn't even have to be white. Let's say she's a Latina, but let's say that perhaps it is a Latina or a white girl. Any Black man out there who has experienced this scenario, you go to, like, let's just say y'all go out for a night on the town. Y'all just want to grab drinks, maybe chop it up, talk, get to know each other a little bit better. Every Black man worth his salt, who has found himself in that scenario can tell you. Now you gotta act like you don't feel it or you don't see it, but the eyes are on you. You walk in there with this bad Latina or this badass white chick as a Black man, the eyes are on you. From all the other Black women in the room, they're looking at you. If you're a good-looking guy, they're looking at you with resentment because they feel in their heart of hearts that you should be one of them. If you're a good-looking guy that they actually would find attractive, that they could actually see themselves with, they say that, oh, look at the audacity of this man and this woman for taking this Black man from our community. Look at the audacity that he has. He knows good and well he should be with a Black woman. Or how dare that white girl, or how dare that Latina take our best men from us? They're hating. They hate in silence, or sometimes overtly. Sometimes they'll give you the stank face. Sometimes it's clear that there's hate in their blood when you just happen to peruse around the room. You could just tell it's a certain energy that they give off. They don't like what they're looking at. It's a lot of hating ass people out there, bro. So of course, as a man, you just had to roll with the punches and ignore that shit. But I feel it. I found myself in that scenario several times because I don't restrict myself to one ethnicity group or one race of woman. Why would I do that? Women are like the most beautiful creation on the planet. Why would I limit myself to just one kind of woman? Fuck that. I want some Black. I want some white. I want some Latina. Throw me in a little bit of Asian while we at it. Matter of fact, give me a little bit of Hawaiian, Pacific Islander. All y'all. There's just too many flavors. Why would I restrict myself to one? It's like I'm going to goddamn Baskin Robbins. 31 flavors. let me try a little bit of all of this. I'm not going to restrict myself because I am good looking enough to have access to all of it. So why the fuck would I restrict myself? It doesn't make sense. But let me stop going off on a tangent. Let me get back to the video. But I just wanted to make that point. She said, we don't care about what your preference is. Yes, you do. Black women vehemently care about who black men are choosing to date. They do.
Particularly for straight black women, is that there's not a lot of y'all to choose.
Right. I almost ran up.
I hate to say it, and I hope it don't sound ridiculous, but the numbers quite literally don't lie. Right. And then the way things are also set up, black women being one of the most educated groups, it is difficult for us to find counterparts. Right. And the counterparts we do have, they got their pick of the litter.
Yes, they do.
Ooh. And now we already have to compete with one another in a way that is, unfortunately, it makes it difficult to be community oriented when we because of scarcity mindset. But then when we see you turning the other way and you do it because, and your answer is always because, and I'm not talking about everybody, but for those of you who say your answer is because you dislike this, that, and the other about black women, it just opens up the whole conversation about beauty standards and privilege. And even you mentioned the white hair, these things that feel exotic. Have you had any personal experiences in either way? Because I mean, you're attracted to women, and you being a woman yourself, where you felt like that has influenced your choices, or you could see its influence on the choices of people around you.
You know what? Yes to the aesthetic piece. Okay. But I will even go a step further. For me, it goes like to an attitude or perceived attitude piece. Okay. Even most recently. Shaq, hey Shaq, I love you, but hey, so I did. No, I love Shaq, but he's part of my story. Okay. So I was doing a segment on the Shade Room, and I was smiling but very much confident in what I was saying, talking like I'm talking to you all.
Sure.
And Shaq is watching. It's like a live stream on YouTube, and he's like, "She's so pretty, but she's so mean." Aww. And I was like, "Shaq, I'm not mean. Why would you say that?" And I think there's something about Black women who are confident and solid in who they are that sometimes can be perceived as we're angry or we have an attitude or we're boisterous when we simply just believe in what we're saying. And we naturally emote differently than other races of women anyway. Right. So for me, it's been more of that. I'm taller, so I kind of have a presence about me with that. The aesthetic piece, I haven't gotten to that point yet, to be honest with you. I haven't gotten to that point of insecurity yet because I'm still dealing with what I just talked to you about.
You don't need to get there.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get there, but I do think sometimes just the confidence, the assertiveness, it can be a little off-putting.
Intimidating.
Yeah. So I think that's the
look at that. That is the number one gaslighting word. Black women love to use that word, intimidating. Oh, if you don't like a bad bitch, just say that. You don't like the way that I speak my mind. I'm not rude. I'm not mean. I'm not nasty. I just say what I want. You know I got a mouth on me. I don't know how to act. This is the bullshit that Black men have dealt with for decades, for eons. And it is so funny to me that this woman here said that she was on some video stream or whatever, and Shaq said that she was attractive, but she was very mean. If a man who does not know you, who has no skin in the game, is assessing the way that you're carrying yourself or the way that you are displaying yourself in public forum, maybe just as a woman, it would behoove you to actually take a step back and wonder, what is it about the way that you are conducting yourself that led him to believe that? You know, that's... I guarantee you, I know exactly how she was carrying herself on whatever stream she's talking about. She was probably being extremely argumentative, unagreeable, probably doing all of that sister girl shit that so many Black women do. Y'all know what I'm talking about. She's probably displaying all of those same characteristics and all of those personality features that are pushing so many Black men away from wanting to date Black women. The same shit. So all the same things that she's saying that she was doing, you know, I was just being assertive, and then, you know, I'm very passionate about what I was saying. Yeah, that's a cloaked way of saying that you were being argumentative, you were being masculine, exuding manly energy, being disagreeable, probably rolling your neck, doing all of this shit on stream. You're exuding all of these characteristics that men find unattractive. And Shaq picked up on it and said you were an attractive woman. However, the way that you carry yourself was mean. And you know, if Shaq said it, then it must then it must be true because no man simps more than Shaq. Shaq just loves simping over bitches these days. So if he said you mean, then shit, you must have been mean. There ain't many bigger simps in the world than Shaq. I'll tell you that.
Intimidation piece is what I've dealt with
heard
more
that,
than
and I'm gonna let you answer, but I've even
They-
heard that specifically.
Men are not intimidated by you. Understand that, ladies. Men are not intimidated by you as a woman. We're not intimidated. We just don't want to deal with your bullshit. There's a difference. I'm not intimidated by your argumentative, masculine ass personality. Bitch, I just don't want to deal with you. There's no intimidation.
And the whole like comparison piece, white women being softer or more malleable or amicable or amenable to particularly black men leading, but also to my point earlier, it's not a whole lot of y'all left. And in the y'all that's left, how many y'all that can lead?
All right, I'm about to steamroll over what they just said right there. I'm gonna get back to that. I want to look at what Ashley said. Ashley said black women romanticize dating black men as if they will automatically relate. Black men are just as problematic, if not more problematic, than others of men as far as understanding. So we should date all. What would lead you to believe? What would lead you to believe that you said they're more problematic than others as far as understanding? Huh? You're gonna have to qualify that statement, Ashley. Oh, and you got one more. The reason why she has an attitude problem is because she's hanging around too many black men. Black men have the worst attitudes consistently. Damn, you sound like somebody hurt you, Ashley. You sound like somebody hurt you. Black men, you're telling me that the reason, now you're going to blame all of that sister girl shit that black women do, all this argumentative, masculine ass, disagreeable personality traits that so many black women exude. Am I understanding this correctly, that you are blaming that on black men? Is that what we're saying? Because that sounds crazy, Ashley. You're gonna have to tell me what you're really trying to say, because that sounds crazy. You cannot blame unattractive, undesired characteristics that so many women exude in a certain demographic. You cannot blame that on the men that they deal with. No. You got to look intrinsically. You got to look within, because the whole point of this video is the fact that women are exuding these characteristics that black men find unattractive. We're not the ones who are instilling that in you. You're getting it from somewhere, most likely from all your friends, because no one gives a woman worse advice than her bird brain friends. No one gives a woman worse advice than her homegirls, especially them hoes that be in the club 24/7 doing all the shit that they claim that they don't do. And then them be the same ones that will hop online with all the motivational quotes and all the memes telling you that they're looking for a man of God or a sapiosexual man. The same women doing all of this shit are the same ones that live lives that are in complete contrast to that message, generally speaking. I don't know. Just my thoughts. Wait a minute. Ron one says, I live in my car with 5 other people. Bro, what the fuck is going on with that? I don't know what you got going on, bro. Let's get back to the video, though. I don't know what you got going on, Ron. I'm sorry to hear that, though.
I don't know
It's
what
even by a smaller margin. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I just think I'm listening to what you're saying, and it's like all these attributes that black women have that.
Come on, bro. I hope that he actually operates from a based position here. He needs to stick up for men, because these women are just talking lots of bullshit right now, just saying the same old empty rhetoric that black women always state. Black man, I hope you hold us down. Let's see what you say.
People want to kind of rein in. If you was Latina, sexy. So it's like that get odd too. And also too, it's like we curate our feeds on social media to our interests. So my interest, I want to see what black folks on. So I don't know what other communities doing what they talk about, but I know when it comes to men talking about women, the only people I see publicly degraded all the time, no matter what, is black women. So it's like,
oh my God,
like I said,
he could have attacked this from so many different angles, and yet he chose to simp. Just because he's in the room with 2 other black women, you chose to completely miss the point and miss a very important opportunity to state what I was just stating about our experience as men in regards to women. But instead of that, he further compounds what the black girl just said. And he says that, oh, you know what? a lot of the same characteristic traits that black women are supposedly responsible for exuding on a constant basis, such as, like I stated, the argumentative piece or the masculine assertiveness. He said, well, when Latinas do that, we look at that as sexy. Bullshit. Bullshit. Any masculine man worth his salt, for the most part, is still not going to want a woman to exude certain characteristics or personality traits. I don't give a damn if she's black, white, Latina, so have you. So if it's a Latina who's being argumentative, aggressive, assertive, disrespectful, I don't give a fuck what color you are. You're going to hit the fucking road. It's my way or the highway. That's how a man has to put his foot down. If a woman doesn't respect you, then you're already losing the battle. The moment you lose a woman's respect, you've already lost. You might as well just go ahead and find somebody else, bro. That's a fact. So I call cap on what he's saying here. Only simps talk like that. Only a simp would let a woman disrespect him or behave in an extremely unruly, aggressive, assertive manner, and he just says, oh, that's so sexy. Oh, she's so fiery. I love those spicy Latinas. No masculine man who's actually the captain of his ship, no masculine man allows that kind of behavior. I don't give a damn what color the woman is. So I completely disagree with this guy. And I'm learning more about him. I'm learning that this dude is just a simp. He's a simp that they got up here between them because they know that he's going to be very agreeable and he's going to go along with whatever they say. That's the only reason this bitch ass dude is even sitting up here. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, I was hyper aware of this young though, because I'm light skinned. Both my sisters brown skin, dark skin. So I would just see how people would approach us like, "Oh my God, you got such nice hair," and we'll then look at my sister and be like,
"That's funny."
And I'm like, "Hold on, cuz, like, what's up?" So I always been hyper aware because of the differences between me and my sisters in appearance. But I also never liked that. I never liked that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But because it's like they look like my mama, so like I don't understand what the problem is. Yeah. But the louder people get when it comes to black women about like, you too loud, you too to do. And then when you compare it to other women, it just seemed like they were a little bit more contained and controlled. But like I said, when you start talking about Spanish women, then that attitude is sexy. Oh, yo, I had a Spanish girl. She was finna stab me. It was hot. Like, woo. That's crazy.
Bro, this nigga's just making up fairy tale scenarios. I don't like anything about what this guy is saying. Like he's pretty much just is, like I said, he's just being completely, he's laying down, and there needs to be a real man there to speak from a position of reason and logic that this guy's not offering. He must be one of their gay besties or something. He don't even seem straight to me, the shit he's saying, because while I just being completely honest, I have heard other men say some of the same stuff that he said, as far as, you know, they let Latinas off the hook sometimes because they look at it as spice instead of disrespect. Oh, she's got a spicy, fiery personality. No, that bitch is just argumentative, just like the black girls that you dealt with. You're just looking at her from a different scope because her skin's a little bit lighter, and her hair's a little bit straighter. That's the only thing that's making you give her leeway. But she's no less disrespectful than the black woman that you were complaining about. There's no difference there. And if you know anything about your history, depending on what type of Latinas we're talking about, the only difference between, for instance, a Dominican and an American black is just where they got dropped off on the goddamn slave ship. We're just keeping it a stack. But I don't want to get into a debate about history and putting you guys on game about the way things actually connect in the whole diaspora that is black people. But yeah, that's always interesting to me when I hear people make excuses for why they deal with a certain kind of woman in regards to another one when they exude the same kind of traits. So while some weak ass men may say the things that he's saying, no masculine man who actually has acquired a certain level of development and who has reached a certain level in life is going to allow any woman to disrespect him. Any woman. And once again, Ashley, I think you're funny. You said, see you yelling and cursing now. It's culture. That's funny, Ashley. That's funny. Let's keep moving.
It's crazy, right? Wow. But like seeing grown men act like that, I'm like, hey, brother, what we doing? Because it's like, I ain't saying you can't have other preferences. I'm saying I'm a Panthers fan. And if you ask me why I'm a Panthers fan, I ain't going to say because I hate the Falcons.
Yes.
So it don't make sense.
Yeah.
No, you don't make no sense. at
All
all.
right, so I want to move on to the other side of the debate, because sometimes when I see this conversation or this discourse happening on the internet, you get, but it's okay when a Black woman does it, when she dates outside her race. And you were just speaking to that a little bit.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so glad that she stated that. I'm so glad that's where the conversation is going. Before she even gets to what she's about to say, can we agree that there is a huge double standard within the Black community when it comes to interracial dating? Because, like I stated earlier, just what I personally have experienced, there's always, you can feel the eyes burning a hole in you. When you're a Black man and you're out with a Latina or a white girl, yeah, the Black women are burning a hole in you and her. They're burning a hole in you because they feel like you have the audacity to be dating outside of your race when you should be dating one of them. And in terms, when in regards to the white girl or the Latina that you're out with, they're burning a hole in her with their eyes because they're hating on her because, like, what is it about this bitch that allows her to be around a good-looking guy like this when he should be dating one of his own within his own race? So it's twofold. But with that being said, in contrast, when it comes to Black men seeing a Black woman out with a white dude, for the most part, we could not care less. We honestly couldn't care less about y'all dating outside your race. It's a free country. Do what you want. That's the way most of us Black men, well-adjusted Black men, that's how we look at it. We're not hating on y'all dating outside your race. Go get Brad. Go get Tommy or whatever the fuck his name is. Go knock yourself out. What you do has nothing to do with me. If that's where you see your happiness being, by all means, go do it. Go find your happiness. People put way too much weight in skin color when it comes to their search for love or when it comes to dating. What difference does it make? Are y'all actually compatible? Do you actually enjoy being around each other? Can you see that person, someone that you can actually build a future with? That's what should actually matter. But people continue to look at all the little details that don't mean shit. It's just crazy. Just craziness. But let's keep moving.
I've been on these dating apps myself. It's hard out here for us.
That's why I got off.
And there is a prevalence of white men on them apps.
Yes.
And it's not really my thing, but it also just makes it difficult for me to have more options for my dating pool. But for you guys, like, what do you think is the difference between when it's happening amongst Black women versus when it's happening amongst Black men?
We don't have a lot to choose from. And then we talk about preference, right? So if I'm a Black woman who desires to date a man who has a certain faith that he practices, that's in line with mine, that makes a certain amount of money.
Alvarez.
Hello.
Alvarez. Who's Alvarez?
1 second. We're going to get back to this delusion. Don't worry. But she's about to make a very interesting point that I'm going to rebut. Give me 1 second. Let me finish letting this load. All right, let's get right back at it.
This river wasn't dammed in a day. And GMC trucks.
Now you'll go there.
That has maybe a certain limit with how many children he already has.
Now you're asking for too much.
That may have never been married before, and I'm older.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we down under the floor
By
the time we actually.
She realizes that. So basically what she just stated, which is extremely interesting and is true. This is one of the true statements that she has made. Black women, specifically, seeing as they are more educated, in generally speaking, the Black woman is overeducated. That's what they say in this country, because Black women, as far as the amount of Black women that obtain college education in contrast to Black men, I want to say the last time I saw it was like 6-1, something like that. But that's not just a Black woman thing or a Black thing. That's every single race. Women are absolutely kicking men's asses when it comes to obtaining degrees of higher education from universities. That's a woman thing. So they're extremely educated. The problem is that most women still get degrees, bullshit degrees that are low paying. They'll go get those damn liberal arts or criminal justice, these low paying degrees that don't mean shit. Just that they say that you graduated from college, that's not enough. So women complain about there being a wage gap when in actuality there's not a wage gap. It's just the fact that you guys go and obtain useless ass degrees that don't make money, and then you start complaining about how you're not getting paid like your man or his counterparts. When in actuality, you could have majored in a STEM. You could have majored in some type of STEM degree. You could have been an engineer. You could have done something that actually pertains to science, or whether you could have become a doctor. You could have. There's so many things that you could actually pursue, but they're hard. Those degree paths are hard. They're difficult. They take a lot more work, but they also have a much bigger payoff. So you can't really complain about a gender gap as far as pay is concerned when you know good and well what degree fields of study would actually yield a higher payout for you. But I digress. Anyways, what she was stating here is the fact that what often happens, especially with women as they continue to age, and everybody knows that a woman's value in the overall sexual marketplace or the dating market at large is going to continue to decrease. It's going to decrease exponentially over time. And if you're a woman who, like this woman here who's in her late 30s, you're heading towards 40 and you don't have any kids yet, and you're expecting to meet a man, like she said, it gets harder. The more money a man makes, and this is a truth of life that you have to understand, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, you have to understand that we are not the same. The way men's dating prospects increase over time are in complete contrast and a complete inverse of how women's prospects in the dating market go over time, especially if they're successful. A man, the more money he amasses, the more resources he procures, the better he takes care of himself. If he keeps looking good at while he's continuing to increase his profile and also increase his overall portfolio of assets and money over time, his doors are just going to continue to increase as far as what women he can have access to, how many women he can get, what kind of women, what quality of women he can obtain. It's just going to keep going up for that man forever in perpetuity. As long as he looks good, takes great care of himself, and he still continues to make more and more money, it's virtually limitless what kind of woman or what woman a man can get. But in contrast, when it comes to women, we all know women have a biological clock. Men don't have that biological clock. You can be in your 70s and 80s and still busting nuts and still populating the earth, still procreating, still bringing more children into the world as a man. As a woman, you have this biological clock that you absolutely must keep in mind. You have to abide by. That's one strike on you. Two, as a woman, most women, especially the ones that aren't living at their tip-top fitness potential, they're aging like milk. So biologically, they're not looking that great. Even if they're making money, just the more money a woman makes, the more doors that close, because women do not want a man that makes less than them. So that means she's going, let's say it's an extremely successful woman. She's only going to want a man who is just as successful, if not more than her. So if she's a very successful woman, kind of like this woman standing here, it starts getting lower and lower and lower as far as the probability of finding that mate that you're looking for as a woman. That's just life. So she might be successful, all these things that she considers that are going for her in her favor. Men don't care about all the monetary stuff that pertain to your career anyway as a woman. That doesn't make a man hard. Oh, what do you do for a living? Oh, that's so sexy. No, men don't think like that. We don't. So if all we want a woman who's attractive, who's youthful, who has a nice body, who's grateful, honest, and who's not a headache to be around. It's very simple what men are looking for. And I know women don't like to admit this, but yes, we want somebody who exudes vitality. Not saying that you should be looking for some girl in her early 20s, but a man wants a woman who exudes vitality, who looks good. And if a man is of a certain ilk, if he's reached a certain level or a certain status, there's no reason that man should not always be able to get the kind of woman that he wants. But women have to kind of get what they can get. That's just a fact. If you're an extremely successful woman, but you're getting up there in age, you better start lowering your standards as far as the kind of man you're looking for, because all those guys that you're probably looking for, they're most likely looking for a woman who's 10 to 15 years younger than you. If you're a woman in this position like her, if you're 39, 40, even if you're successful, even if you're making good money, even if you're an attractive woman for your age, doesn't matter. A man who is actually of a certain value level is always going to go for the best possible option he can get. If there's a 25 to 30-year-old who looks better than you, who may not be as accomplished from a professional standpoint as you, but who definitely looks better than you and who has a softer overall aesthetic and also personality, that man's going to choose her 10 times out of 10 over a woman like this. That's just the fact.
Vet through every and this is not, again, I'm not talking about women that are super stringent and have all these high, like over the top standards.
No, they're
just
real.
basic things, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's not higher over the top. The bar just being held.
That's what I'm saying. So we're doing this off just basic fundamental things that we would like. A man who's into his career. Some of them still trying to figure it out. No shade, but again, if you're established, if you're high achieving, and that would go for a man. Like depending, if you may have a standard where, hey, I want to date a woman who has a passion, it's something she's really passionate about, and she's career driven. She can still be a great mom, but she has something for herself. You wouldn't date a woman that necessarily doesn't have anything going for herself.
That's real.
So when the statistics already show, it's not a lot of y'all around, not a lot of good solid guys around, not a lot of guys that care about themselves enough to go to a therapist or to read a book or to go to the gym or to eat a salad. Again, we're under under the couch. And so that's part of it. It's a numbers game. You all have more choices. It just is what it is.
I think also too though, like
I gotta address one thing you said here, Ashley, because I think you're tripping. You said I misspoke with older men have more options as they get older. No, they have more options for prostitutes and gold diggers, not I think you meant childbearing women, I suppose. I don't understand your logic there, because that statement that you're making is not based off of logic. If a man is successful, if a man takes great care of himself from the standpoint of being physically fit, eats correctly, looks young still as he continues to approach the 40s and 50s, and if that man continues to amass resources and assets and he's doing very well in life, that man's options absolutely continue to increase exponentially. There's not even any you can't dispel that, you can't rebut that in any way. That's just a fact of life. And it doesn't have to be about prostitutes or what did you say, or gold diggers. Now those are things that you have to be cognizant of as a successful man. The older you get and the more work you put into the world, of course you're going to have to be more cautious and apprehensive about why a woman is into you, regardless how good you look, regardless of how much money you have. The more money you have as a man, the more cautious, the more work you have to put into the vetting process, because women are getting even better by the day as far as being able to play that game, being able to put on that cloak, being able to put on that sheep clothing, even when they're wolves. When women do research, man, women study dudes. They do background checks. They do everything that they possibly can to get one leg up on the rest of the women that are competition for a certain man. So if a man is of a certain status level, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Even if we're just talking about money, just by having money, there's a whole lot of lame ass motherfuckers out here who are getting bad bitches. Now let's take it from being a lame dude with money. Let's take it to a guy who amassed money, who actually used to get women before he even had money, who's a good looking guy, takes good care of himself, and he has money on top of all of that. That's when you have somebody who is an absolute monster, because he already knows the game. He understands feminine nature. He knows how to vet women. And he has money. Oh, you better believe it. You better believe his options in the dating market are going to virtually be endless, limitless. You better believe that more than you believe in God. If you disagree with that, you're just not operating in reality. Sorry.
Even if I am on the same like economic status as you, my options is different. I might want to go play that field. Like, it's like I don't work that hard. If you ain't got nobody that stayed down with you to your success, and even sometimes, even when you do stay down, like my options change up. I want to go explore them options because we always think it's something better going on. But I think too, my mentality about this is always like, whatever. Like the whole conversation is like, do what you want to do, as long as it's not like, well, I'm dating white men because I hate
like
black
white
men.
men.
Like, I'm cool, but then also too, it's just like, in like a case like Serena Williams, like, the only thing I ever really heard black men compliment her about was her ass. You feel me? Everything else is like she manly, she this and that. But she go get with the white dude. Now the white dude look crazy. He look crazy. You know what I'm saying? But he is a billionaire. Like, hey,
now, ain't that the pot calling the goddamn kettle black? Look at this nigga here. You ain't really in a position to be talking about somebody's looks, bro.
Trunk picture, didn't you?
I did. Shout look translucent.
I
You hear
didn't
me?
see the swimming trunk picture.
He looked translucent. It's crazy.
Oh, don't say that.
It's a stark contrast.
Okay.
What, he like invested in this or something? No. I'm just playing. But nah, I'm just saying, it's like, but you can't go. But then it's like, well, he do got $1 billion, and
okay, this nigga's talking out of his ass. Serena Williams, in case you guys don't know, Serena Williams is married to a guy, I believe his name is Alex Ohanian. He was the founder and creator of Reddit, which I'm sure a lot of you use. I use Reddit all the time. He's not worth anywhere near $1 billion. Last I checked, which was a couple years ago when Drake was on his head, I think he was worth about 60 million then. It's probably somewhere in the 60 to 80 million range still now. But yeah, she's not married to a billionaire, but yeah, he's doing well for himself. He's a multimillionaire. Serena might have more money than her husband though. So he was saying, basically what he's saying is that when black men used to comment on Serena, they always used to talk about how thick she was, how big her ass was, which, you know, she was a very shapely woman for a tennis player. She's gotten a lot skinnier now, if you've seen any of the recent pictures, but that used to be a topic of discussion. But basically, I don't even understand what his point was there, though. I guess just the fact that maybe black men objectified Serena, so she went and found a white guy who appreciated more about her than just her ass. I think that goes both ways. You go where you're appreciated, man. If you don't find people within your own community that are appreciating what you bring to the table, go find better elsewhere. I applaud anybody for doing that.
Men respect money, you feel me? So it's like, well, she do got $1 billion, but you can use that as an example too. But I think also my kind of like point of view is, if you go to college, you in your career, you doing your thing, the type of people you around too, it lessens like the black man that you might want. That field do get shorter and shorter because of war on drugs. Like we was funneled into prison, y'all was left out here, and y'all figured it out. Like my mama struggled working regular jobs. Yeah. I'm gonna go the corporate route, and I'm gonna go do the corporate takeover, and that's what y'all did. That's just real. The stats is there.
But I mean, I feel like I'm trying to get it.
All he has done this entire time is pander. One thing I don't like is a pandering ass man who's not willing to actually stand on his own square and speak from a manly position. All he's doing is agreeing with these two black girls, which is fine if that's what they paid him to do. But if they don't know him and he's just talking this soft ass shit, that's a problem. Because what he's stating is not relevant, nor is it accurate as far as the actual male experience. And that's what this is all about, because we want to talk about what is it that continues to push all of these black men, or specifically to this debate, black athletes, towards dating women in other races. And they are completely tiptoeing around what it is, which once again is all of the characteristics that men do not find attractive in women that so many black women actually exude. We do not want argumentative women. We do not want disagreeable, masculine ass women. We do not want all the neck rolling. We do not want all the fucking endless hair hats. We do not want the bat wing eyelashes. I mean, let me, man, I'm about to get up on a soapbox and start preaching. Let me
answer out of y'all that I haven't gotten yet.
Okay, come on.
When we're walking down the street and we see a black man holding hands with a white woman, we have a very particular experience.
Yes.
But when we be walking down the street, we might see a black woman with a white man. We might not have that same energy. And where is that setting?
I ain't gonna hold you. Sometimes the white boys be pulling some bad. I'm talking about bad. I be like, hey.
They do.
My boy.
And once the black wife effect take over, it'd be like, okay, they match.
Hey.
Honestly, I think a lot of black women, and I'll speak for myself, and I'm working through not feeling like this.
Here we
If
go.
I'm walking down the street and I see a black man with a white woman, there's a weakness in him.
Ooh.
Something in
This bitch said that when she sees a black man with a white woman, there must be some kind of weakness in him that has pushed him to doing this. It can't be the fact that he simply finds that particular woman attractive. Perhaps he likes, you know, what she's able to offer mentally. Perhaps she actually offers stimulating conversation. Maybe they have some things that they just have in common. They're compatible. They have similar interests. Or they genuinely find each other attractive. But no, it can't be any of those things. It has to be just the fact that black guy, he's weak. He must be weak because he couldn't stick it out with a black woman. Bitch, please. Operate off of logic, not feelings.
him is weak.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
I want to preface this by saying, because I don't think we had an opportunity to say it as much. Love is love.
Love is love.
And
love
as was evidenced in our BEG draft, we just fell in love and she just happened to be white. Sometimes this happens.
No, that's real.
But sometimes it don't. And I just want to contextualize her statement by saying that.
And I appreciate you doing that, because I believe the same. On the other side, I think when I see a black woman with a white man,
here we go.
Despite all the historical context that we know that sits behind that, I think, oh, She must have got she's tired. Like she must have got so fed up that's
Oh, hell no.
she's getting.
Oh, fuck no. Look at the bullshit that is unfolding in real time. This bitch said that when I see a black man with a white woman, I just know that there must be some weakness within that man. However, in contrast, when I walk around and I see a black woman with a white man, oh, I just know she's just tired. That's all. She's just tired of the bullshit that black men are putting her through. So it's okay. That's all right. See, this is the same level of unbridled delusion that pushes so many black men away from even wanting to deal with this bullshit from black women. Y'all don't, it's like they refuse to see their flaws. They refuse to see that you are the reason that that man don't want to deal with you anymore. He doesn't want to deal with that hardness, the constant gaslighting. He doesn't want to deal with your masculine, your masculine, assertive, neck rolling demeanor. So why not go explore what's out there? Why not? It's not a weakness thing. And I'm saying this as a man who has absolutely no horse in this race. Because like I said, I talk to women of all nationalities and all races. You're not going to put me in a box. Not going to put me in a box. So I'm just telling it like it is. And the fact that she has the nerve to literally contradict herself in a matter of 1 minute, she contradicted herself by saying that it's weakness when a black man is with a white woman, but when a black woman is with a white man, oh, it's just due to the fact that she's tired. Oh, she's just tired from all the things that the black men have put her through. Bullshit. Just absolute bullshit. And she said that shit with a straight face. She said that fuck shit with a straight face. Unbelievable.
To rest now.
Oh,
again, why would that be the interpretation?
So the white man puts the black woman into her soft woman era. That's what she's saying. She's just tired and she gets to rest now. See, bitches like this are gonna stay single forever. I hope she understands that. Like, when you operate off of this level of delusion and you are unwilling to actually just pull that curtain back and look at what's really going on behind the scenes, you're going to be delusional. You're going to stay in this rut that is her dating life. She's going to stay in this rut forever because she's unwilling to tell the truth about herself. She's unwilling to tell the truth about why so many black women push black men into the open market of interracial dating. Black women don't want to be real with themselves. That's the bottom line. We tell y'all exactly what we don't like about you, about your characteristics and your personality. We tell you exactly what we're not looking for in a woman. Do y'all change? No. So guess what? There's nobody holding a gun to the black man's head that say that we have to date nothing but black women. So why wouldn't we go out and explore what's out there? And there's a lot out there. Anyways.
Yeah.
Because as I mentioned earlier, for me, I don't want to date outside my race.
Yeah.
But it may be my only option at a certain point. So I have to be open to the only. I think there are some black women, not all, because like you said, love is love. But there may be some black women, and they say it on social media. Girl, I tried it. Venus tried it. No, excuse me, not Venus. Serena tried it. Serena dated several high profile black men.
Correct.
Before she finally turned the corner. So I think we need to also understand and talk about those black women who have been making the effort.
Yeah.
And it's just not panning out. And so they have to say, you know what? I'm going to be open to love, like for real, on a grander scale than what I think that I want for myself.
So the whole point of us having this conversation, for me, and I said at the top of the episode, I'm quite sick of the gender wars. There's far too much going on that is affecting our community for us to be sparring back and forth about really anything. And this is a complete waste of time. It is a waste of time to be having a conversation the way that we do online, but also there is merit to the complaints Black women make about the disparity, the numbers that don't line up for us, on top of these ideas about preference and choice that lean into all of these beauty politics, and how from the beginning of time here in America, Black women were pushed to the bottom in terms of desirability. But the point of it all, the point of us having this discussion, is to hopefully bring us to the table to have a friendly conversation about discussing the importance of loving on one another, period.
All right, that's about all I want to give to this to this forum. This is all the attention I care to give to this, but I just thought that this was extremely entertaining, and I feel like I could make it very informational and educational, because there's a lot of bird brain women out there that tend to think that men are just upon their own volition, just going out into the world every day, downing black women for no good reason, saying negative things about black women for no good reason, when in actuality, there are so many of us black men who have dealt primarily with black women their entire lives. But at some point, as Albert Einstein said, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over and over, doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. That's insanity. So if you're a black man who has dealt with primarily black women your entire life, and then one day you come to the epiphany like, damn, I've been doing this for my whole life. Why wouldn't I give something else a try? Why wouldn't I go explore and see if there's something else out there that may possibly work better? It's just common sense. Why wouldn't you do it? It just makes sense, right? So in that same regard, when we have these forums such as this one, usually there'll actually be a masculine man up there that's actually laying down what's really going on in men's heads. This simp that was up there in that particular video didn't offer anything to the conversation whatsoever. But if there was a man up there telling them the truth, what I found in so many of these several conversations that we see, just like the one that you just saw there, is that no matter how often black men tell black women what it is about them that grinds our gears, whether it be their argumentative, masculine personalities that many exude, not all. There certainly are some black women that are soft, that actually do exude those feminine qualities that you look for in a woman, but there are also so many who have been raised on this ideal, on this trope of just absolute independence. I don't need a man. I don't need a man. Okay, bitch, if you don't need a man, then be single forever. But if you do want a man, then maybe it would behoove you to start changing some things up about the way that you carry yourself, the way that you conduct yourself. No man wants a woman who's unagreeable, masculine, super assertive, constantly wanting to argue, constantly wanting confrontation, thinking that that's sexy, or that a man gets off on the toxic exchange. No, that shit gets old. A man wants peace at the end of the day. He doesn't want to have to come home from dealing with the world all day and then got your ass with your fucking lip poked out, arguing and trying to debate him about some shit. That's just not what a man wants. And unfortunately, so many black women get off on being all of those things that a man does not want. And unfold, in turn, due to that fact, there has been a mass exodus of black men looking outward, looking at other nationalities, other ethnicities, and truly putting time and effort into seeing what is possibly out there with other women. It just makes sense to me. So instead of complaining about what you see or hating on black man who's out there dating interracially, how about you look inward, look intrinsically, look inside, be introspective as a black woman and think, damn, all these dudes continue to just use me for recreation and nothing else. What is it that is not connecting? What is it? But no woman, I don't want to say no woman, but most women don't have that intestinal fortitude to truly look within, truly look at themselves in the mirror and say, what qualities and what characteristics do I exude on a daily basis that is deterring men from wanting to deal with me in a serious capacity? If you're not actually asking yourself that, you're never going to get to the root of the problem. And this is specifically, obviously, a video that was about black men and black women, but this applies to all women. If you can't seem to lock down the kind of man that you are in the market for, the man that you want, you start at the top. You start at the very top, the easiest things that is easiest to pinpoint, such as physical aesthetics. How do you look? Are you in shape? Are you an attractive woman? Are you in shape? Did you take care of yourself? Do you dress well? Do you smell nice? Do you have a very soft disposition that you give off? And then you go from there and just work your way down. Because sometimes women can be just absolutely gorgeous, but sometimes their personality makes them ugly. Sometimes a woman can have all the beauty in the world. You might look like goddamn Helen of Troy. You know, the face that launched 1,000 ships. You might be the most beautiful woman on the planet. But if your character, the way you carry yourself, the way you conduct yourself when it comes to men. If you have a nasty disposition as a woman, nothing in this world is more off-putting to a man. That's why I always say, listen, I can fix a girl that got a bad attitude. I can fix that. But a bitch that just has a nasty disposition, abort mission. It's just not worth it. You can't change a woman who has a genuinely bad disposition. Just can't be done. Just can't be done. Anyways, I don't mean to rant, but I just wanted to show y'all that video and about this topic that is always going to be a topic of conversation. Unfortunately, interracial dating is just always going to be one of those hot topics. Black women hate seeing a black man with a woman that's outside of his race. But in turn, black men honestly could not give a fuck about seeing a black woman out with a white man, because we know good and well that one, that has nothing to do with us, and two, if that's who she sees herself finding love with, then best of luck to her. It shouldn't be something where we're hating on it. You know, they said in the video that love is love, right? So if that's true, if that statement is true, then why are so many people so concerned about who is fucking who, who's dating who? You just need to worry about what's going on in your life. What's going to work for you? That's what we should all be concerned about. What is ultimately going to work for me? I can't let the fact that my family, now I'm not talking about my family personally, but I'm saying if I'm in that situation, I can't let the fact that my family would look at me a certain way if I dated this girl. I can't let that deter me from possibly pursuing something that could work out and ultimately may lead to true happiness. Are you going to let what other people think about you? Or are you going to let society's view, society's scope of what dating is? Are you going to let that impact you so much that you're going to waste your one lifetime on this earth? You're going to waste it away on what other people's opinions are about what you should do with your life? What sense does that make? That makes no sense whatsoever. That's not being a real adult. Being a real adult, being a real man, being a real woman is you operating off of what you honestly believe in your heart. What do you want to do? Fuck what your sister said. Fuck what your best friend said. Fuck what your brother said, your mom said, your dad said. What do you want to do? How do you really feel? Do you want to go date somebody that's outside your race? Go do it. Do you want to date somebody that's in your race? Fine, do it. But make sure that you're doing these things because you genuinely want to do it, not because of what you're worried someone else may think of what you're doing. That's all I want to leave y'all with before I get out of here, man. Anyways, it's been a pleasure. And this was a good topic that I had come across. Like I said, it just came across my feed today, and I thought this was really interesting because it's always going to be a really interesting subject as far as interracial dating. And people always feel so strongly about it. And ultimately, we all have one experience on this earth. We only get to go around, we only have so many revolutions around the sun on this planet, each of us. So live life to the fullest. And if people are hating the way you live your life, fuck them. Simple as that, all right? Anyways, man, y'all stay dangerous. Stay focused. This is your man, That's Your Great. I'll holla. Peace.